Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to day 8 of the Sorare £10 Road to Glory. So in today's episode, what we're going to be doing is looking through my research and then basically just abstracting a few trends from that, and then hopefully with today's games I'll be able to go and find some investments that fit those trends that work really well, and we'll be able to make our first set of investments on the Road to Glory. And if you guys are interested in signing up to Sorare, there is a referral down below. Once winning 5 cards on the bidding market, you will get yourself a free limited card. I will say please do be responsible, because of course you can lose money as well as make money. So we have managed to go and sell on loads and loads of players that we bought in last episode, because I guess the game week was ending, so you normally do get a lot of sales. So let's go through them right now. So first person we got is Seymour. Now we traded him with one of our goalkeepers, who we couldn't even really sell for £1.40, so really decent right here. Sold him at £1.92. We got the second player, which is Damian Suarez, who we went and picked up there for 96p and flipped for £1.27. We got Tapida, we picked up for 82p and flipped for £1.15. We got Lee Woo, who we picked up for 27p, who we flipped there for 51p. We got Michael Gorvin, who we went and bought for 55p and flipped for 90p. Thomas Greber, who we went and bought for 55p and flipped for 78p. Then we got the players in yesterday's episode, who got Can, who we went and picked up for 67p and flipped for £1.14. And Lung, who we went and bought for £2 and sold him there for £3.78, which means that I actually now have a kitty to work with of £10.31, which is really cool, because of course that means everything that we have is profit on what we had a week ago. And I can show you all the players that we have right now. 39 different cards, which in theory again have the value accumulated of £47. Obviously including this guy of 8 quid, we've got this guy's 2 quid. A few of them are down a little bit, but we got this guy who's like 4 or 5 quid. So we're starting to get a really, really nice collection, especially bear in mind we've only been on it for a week. So what we're going to do right now is show you guys the outcome of my research of what players I thought would work well this week, and therefore what I'm going to look going into this game week into what to invest in. And in every episode we do give away £10 Sorare Credit. So the winner of the last episode was... congratulations to Fruits, and there's his name. If you guys would like to enter today's £10 Sorare giveaway, all you gotta do is just like the video and leave a comment of your club name. So earlier in the week, we showed you guys that we were doing a lot of data gathering, and the reason we were gathering data is because I kind of wanted to run a demo account on cards I'd invest in and just see how well they did through the week. Now, very interesting enough, the majority, if not everything, par maybe 5 cards are up, and we were looking at 56 different cards that I thought would do well. Now what I've done is I've taken a note of the guys who rose the highest percent, basically looking like 20% plus, and then kind of looked a little bit deeper into them. So I'll go through them right now. So there are a few running trends, and I can explain a fair few of these trends just by showing you this guy right here. So Azir Villabar. Now he was buyable at £8.50 and he went up to £12.50. We can see this here with him being, I believe he had his really good game there, which means you could have picked him up pretty easily here. So he played really well here, then went down again. So all these people going for like £7.20, £7.20, £8.50. He then rose really, really well. And he rose really, really well because of a few different things. One of them is that there is a 40 difference between his L5 and his L15. This means that in theory, he's really good value for money when it comes to using him in people's teams, because obviously he'll only take away 36 of the points in the capped modes, but he could potentially offer you 78. It's unlikely, but he could. Now the second reason he's done really well is because he's a forward. Now it's a lot harder for a forward to get a good score than it is a midfielder. The reason for this is because obviously a midfielder is making interceptions, they're making a lot of passes, they have the chances of getting assists, they've also got the chances of getting goals, and they're kind of like, obviously they're bringing the ball from the defence and through to the attack. Whereas an attack is only really going to get the ball from a defender, which as a result means they're not really making the interceptions. It means they're not really making passes anywhere near as much as the midfielder, not unless they're dropping really deep. Which means it's quite hard to get a score really above 55 on an attacker, especially if you're on a decent L15. Which means that if you've got an attacker with an L5 above, 55, especially if it's significantly high at 78, easy for me to say, then it's going to do really well. And this is a consistent trend I've seen across them. So there's, again, I'd say like 3 trends. First trend is them having an L5 above 65 if they play in any position. So defender, midfielder, forward. Not looking at goalkeepers whatsoever. The second trend is if they're a forward, a L5 of generally 50 and above, or 55 and above. Now it depends on the league. Now if you play in a top 5 league, because of the semi-pro trend, because of these semi-pro tournaments that I can't enter because I have so many limited cards, well there's basically tournaments, and I'm sure you guys will be aware because maybe you can enter them, where you only need 1 rare card, or 1 limited card, sorry. Well, because of this, the players from the top 5 leagues do pretty well, because all you need is one Premier League player, and then you use the 3 players that you got on the draft. Well, as a result, anyone from a top 5 league did a bit better than the next. So I've put some side notes here. So I think this guy did very well because he was part of the La Liga. This guy did quite well because he was in the Liga. This guy did well because he was in the Serie A, in the La Liga, in the Serie A. And a fair few of the players, they didn't actually need to have as high of L5 scores to do well, because them being in a top 5 league and therefore being able to be used in the semi-pro tournament allowed them to have a bit more flexibility with their scores. So how are we going to use this data to go and scout players? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go through every game in the Game Week Center. And again, you can get here, I believe, even on the free version at Game Week Center. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and click on this, and I'm going to go and have a look at some of these scores. Now, the problem is a lot of these guys are going to normally be starters, and as a result, be very expensive. So what I'm ideally looking for is someone who isn't normally a starter. So, for example, this guy, is he normally a starter? Yeah, he is, and that's the reason why he's £10. So I wouldn't be looking at him. But for example, if this was maybe his first game, I think he probably has been on a little bit of a spell. So these scores right here would go and give him a low L15, but this score right here would carry him to have a really good L5. An L5 that is going to be, 60 or 65 and above, whereas his L15 is probably only going to be sitting about 45 or 50. But again, I kind of need to find players that haven't played recent games, and then they've just come and played this amazing game, which is now going to give them an L5, much higher than their L15. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm only working on £10.30, and you may have seen in that previous spreadsheet that there are quite a lot of expensive players, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some of the investments that I think are good, but then I'm also going to go and make some, demo investments, and just see, have I taken some decent knowledge from my first week of tracking investments into the second week, and would they have done well if I had enough money to go and invest in them. So we've got ourselves a bunch of deals of 2 different people. So we've got 1, 2, 3 off one person, and then 2 off another. So let's go through the deals. Just a bunch of discard players for nice and cheap. So we start off right here with Dumango Papovic, who we picked up for 38p, and he's going to go up for 81p. And then we've basically got ourselves a bunch of the classic. 25p going up for 51p, 13p going up for 51p, 13p going up for 51p, and once again 13p going up for 51p. Not bad in terms of profits right here as well. £3.5p worth of players for £1 2p. So happy days as I get them listed up, and we're closing on 60 quid profit. I've got our second game from the 5-0 AZ game, but it is not from the team you're expecting. Now the reason for that is because these guys are very expensive, because they play for a very good football team. It's the other team I'm looking at, and it's mainly this guy right here, S Senor. Now the reason we do like this guy as an investment is because if I go and look at his SO5 scores, we can see that, first off, he is very cheap. But the second most interesting thing that I quite like about this guy is that if I scroll down here, we can see he's got a 72 score, a DNP, a DNP, a DNP, and a DNP. These are his last 5 scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which now means that he's going to have an L5 score of 72.2. They may say, well, that might be a bit of a problem. Well, we can actually go back to the guy on our spreadsheet that I was showing you earlier, who only had 1 score. Again, he was an attacker in the La Liga, but despite no one really cared that he DNP'd the last 5 games. Now, his L5 isn't quite as low as the other guy. He had a L5 of 78 and an L15 of, I think it was about 36. Now, he's going to go and have an L5 of 72 that I think, again, is very good, especially if I can go and get him at a budget. And he's going to have an L15 coming in at 47. So, not quite as big of a difference, but again, I'm going to try and be picking him up. I don't know. I don't really want to be buying him at these inflated prices, but that's going to be the plan of action, is picking ourselves up one of this guy, because again, he's got under 21, which is always nice looking. He's a defender, which, the high scores in defenders and midfielders isn't quite as impressive as forwards, but if I'm getting him for nice and cheap, I know he's going to have a lovely L5 that is generally going to be, 25 higher than the L15, and therefore could look pretty good. A player for the list, and that is Michael Soliber, who once again is a little bit like the last guy that I showed you, because he's going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4 dead L5s, and he's got this one this one score here. His L5 is now going to be 75. His L15 is going to be 53, which is again a little bit high, because of course it's not too ideal, but at the end of the day, I should be able to go and pick him up for the best part of about 64p. So 64, 70p, to hopefully go and get someone who's got, once again, an L5 of 75 and an L15, again, 53. It's not amazing, but it's a very cheap investment that I'm going to go and throw onto the list. It's like I got a really good deal. I have no idea why on earth this guy's accepted this, because I offered him, arguably a better deal on a cheaper player, and he rejected it, but then he's offered this, he's given me this pretty decent deal. So I've gone and picked up Andy Polo, who sells very consistently as of recently for about £9.80. So we've gone and picked him up here for £4.97. We're going to go and sell him for £9.07, which means a nice little £4 profit just on this player. So happy days, eh? Happy days. So Candice have just had an amazing game, and there's so many players that I like from here. Because actually they've had 2 really good games in a row, despite being a pretty rubbish club in the La Liga. So let's go for a few of them. The main thing is that we need to hope that people become a bit Stevie Wonder when it comes to seeing who they play next. Because they do play against Barcelona, off the back of playing 2 not-so-good teams in the La Liga. Although I think Girona are like mid-table. So the only thing this works upon is if people don't look at who they play next. So Isaac Carrican has just dropped a 87 score, which is just absolutely insane. This is now going to give him an L5 of 65, and with him being in the La Liga is a really, really strong combo if we look at the last one. His L15 is 50, so 50 L15, 65 L5 in the La Liga. He's looking very good. He's also very budget at the moment, so I'm happy with that. We then get to this guy's, again, Thorgun Bagona. Again, we can go and look at his L5. And his L5 is coming in at 56. Again, he's a forward. One of the winning combos last time was a forward. He's a forward in the La Liga with, again, an L5 or 55 and an L15 of 45, so 10 difference there. We then get to one of their midfielders, and again, we're going to go and look at his L5, and his L5 is 61. Once again, he's still in the La Liga. It was a very winning combo last time. L15, 47, so 47 and a 60. Really nice difference. Also, back-to-back really good scores here with an 80 and a 74. We then get to the striker. What was one of the best combinations? It was a forward with a decent L5 in one of the top 5 leagues. This guy's also like £2 at the moment. So SO5, let's go look at it. L5. His L5 is 42, which actually I guess is something I do worry about. But the good thing going for him, because that's kind of against the normal trend, the thing I like for him is he went from a sub-DMP to now being a starter who's gone and scored a goal. Yeah, again, his L5 actually isn't too ideal looking into it. But what's his L15? His L15 is 34 and his L5 is 42. So this is kind of, I guess, a bit of a scaled down version of what kind of works. So I can't guarantee this is going to work. I mean, I can't guarantee any of them work because they play against Barcelona next game, and again, investing is all gambling. But these are a few players I do like from this game. And then I'm looking at the Granada game. There isn't too much to like from this game because anyone who's had a good score is either expensive or they just don't have a good combination of an L5 and an L15. But that's not necessarily done for trading for the day, but that is all the games done for the day and all the players that I like. Now, what's quite nice is I can do this all day, well, on all of the weekend episodes. So the Friday can have this, the Saturday can have this, and the Sunday can have this. And I can basically alternate between showing you some trading deals I get and some players that I personally am going to be looking at. And as I say, the ones that I don't invest in are still add to a list, and then I can track if I was right with the trends or if I was wrong. So that is going to call it the end of today's episode. We haven't gone and picked up any more deals because we haven't really had any more people accepting, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the format that we can give you guys on the weekend, which is where we show you guys some deals, then I show you some cards I've been looking at to invest in, and then we go to deals and then show you more cards I'm looking to invest in. At the moment I haven't picked up any cards, but as I say, I do have a pool of 7 players at the moment that I'm been looking to get some deals on. Kind of just waiting for some of them to be on a low fluctuation, or when some of the new one of the new cards of them gets listed, then I'll just send over a trade offer a little bit lower so I can get them at the prices that I fancy them at. But thank you very much for watching today's episode, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode where we'll look at more investments and hopefully pick up some more deals.